Right, today we're reading from Essavadore, the Skifical Truth Project film synopsis. Act 1. We find ourselves with Kerry on board a ferry from Ireland to the Welsh port of Fishguard. Kerry, 20 years of age, muscular build, sharp brown eyes to match his long brown hair. He looked rather weathered in his dark black coat, along with the standard army issued steel toe cap boots. Usually quite a cheery chap, but with troubles aplenty. It's late in the month of October, getting colder every day, and the ferry crossing is a rough one. Kerry walks the decks thinking to himself, why did it come to this? You see, the story started the previous Christmas. It started the usual way, with all the family coming around for presents and cheer. It had been snowing in the evening and turned into a white Christmas day. His brother and two sisters were playing in the snow out back, and when he went to join them, building snowmen and snow forts for snowball fights. And as always, the girls won every round. Unknown to everyone, it would be the last Christmas they would all spend together. It went the usual way, presents in the morning, then just waiting for dinner with all the trimmings. You cannot beat home cooking, they all say. Time for photographs around the fireplace, with a roaring log fire for the night. They placed the camera on a tripod so they could all get in. 10-second delay. It was just about achieved with a few laughs, a happy time for everyone. Now that night Kerry's father suffered a massive heart attack and passed away. He was always the backbone of the family, a proud man who had given 40 years to the building trade. He started out cleaning and sweeping floors, and by the time he retired was head foreman for a major building company, so sadly the family drifted apart. From that point, Kerry's mother started suffering depression and fell into cycles of mental illness. He did his best to support her through the rough times, putting his own life on hold to see his two sisters and brother grow up, in a way taking the place of his father as the eldest of the children. It is very much a cold, dark and rainy night. Kerry is slumped on the deck chair, soaking wet from the rain, dripping off his corduroy hat. His father becoming fast distant memory, and at this thought Kerry's muscles tensed in his face as the tears start to fall for his father. He stands and begins pacing 5 steps forward, 5 steps back, his whole body starting to seize with the cold, rain and wind. What is at the end of this ferry crossing? No one to meet, no one to see him safe, just looking for a new life away from the demons that haunt his every step as the tears are hidden in the rain. His father passed away. He promised he would take care of the family, and as there was no work in the small village in Ireland, he seeks forth to the mainland for better prospects. So here we have Kerry, £25 in his pocket, 2 days of clothes in his backpack, and 4 cheese and onion sandwiches. As he rummages for the sandwiches, he finds a parcel from his mother and opens it. He discovers his father's notebook, warm brown leather, bound with green ribbon. As Kerry reads, a new light falls on his father's past. The similarities are uncanny. His father passed away when he was 14. John, Kerry's father, took the same ferry to the mainland, but John did not find any work, so enlisted in the Navy, ending up on HMS Belfast just before World War II broke out. Kerry reads on in the shelter of the ferry cafe, having queued 20 minutes for a less than hot coffee, was greatly annoyed and grimaced at every mouthful. So, he reads how his father escorted merchant ships across the Atlantic, always on the lookout for U-boats. A picture falls out, a photograph of the crew rescuing a sailing ship that had capsized, a memory never told, as John wasn't particularly proud of his service in the war. Kerry reads on in dim light of the battered ferry. The year 1943, a merchant ship was just hit by a torpedo and was ablaze, lighting up the night sky. HMS Belfast pulls up alongside to rescue the survivors. John writes how he witnessed charcoal bodies on the decks, some still on fire, and screaming men running towards him in desperation. What he had seen will never leave him. There were only 5 men out of 25 rescued, and it would take years for John to forget the smell of the charcoal bodies. Then the hunt was on for the U-boat. Depth charges were sent over the sides in the trail of the torpedoes, and that was seen, and it was not long until oil and debris was floating by as the U-boat was hit. Kerry, reading this with some disbelief, finds a new admiration for his departed father. Kerry thinking to himself, if my father can survive this, I should not worry. And a peace falls upon Kerry. The tears were no more.